Canada the queen, she's the biggest fish I've seen, and I know which lure's the one. We'll use Big O's on this run.
These guys here, Musky Max this weekend. They got the best lures around town.
What's up, yins, guys? Welcome back to Fishing PA with Ryan Reed. Guys, it's been a while. I've been super busy, particularly with the Musky Hunks podcast, sponsored by my guy, Owen Seaman, and Big O's Bucktails. But I thought it was time to do some YouTube. So I wanted to kind of circle back around on some of the YouTube videos. We got the boat prepped, ready to go. I'm super pumped to get out there. But you guys know, if you've watched my channel for X amount of years, one of my favorite things to do is to cover outdoor shows or like fishing expos. You guys also know, very involved in musky fishing here in Western Pennsylvania. I love the sport of musky fishing. I love muskies. You know, I really want to get more involved in the Chapter 16 Muskies Inc. Club here around Pittsburgh, a little north of Pittsburgh. But that's me. That's what I'm going to continue to do on my channel here. And the video that we're going to talk about today, the event that we're going to talk about today, is the 2023 Musky Max held at Prinscape Arena down in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. Okay, so for those of you that have seen my videos, you guys know that Musky Max is a huge deal to us as musky fishermen. You guys know that Shawn and Todd Leopardi do an awesome job with that show. Shawn really does all the planning and marketing. It's just a really awesome event that's held here locally. It gives exhibitors an opportunity to come out, get a booth space, and show off their products. So this is one of the main attractions here. There's tons of fishing lures, like musky lures. There's tons of gear like rods, reels, nets, bump boards. There's just a lot of different gear that you guys can get into across these booths. Also, it's an opportunity for you guys to talk to guide services and set up your guide trips for the year. This show is an opportunity for you guys to spend an entire weekend surrounded by muskies and musky fishing. That's what the show is. So part of this is kind of learning and understanding the market, you know, what baits are hot, what bait makers are hot, getting in line super early to be able to pick up some of your products to go out there and put more fish in the boat. So that's Musky Max, okay? It's like the Super Bowl musky fishing for us here in Western Pennsylvania. Now, why do I do these videos? Why have I spent so much time traveling around like Ohio, New York, Pennsylvania, Chicago years back? Why have I done that? Well, guys, like Musky Max was one of the first events that really sparked my interest in musky fishing. I can remember years back going to the Butler High School pre-Musky Max and seeing Tony Grant put on a seminar, and it just blew my mind, watching a big muskie eat at the side of the boat. Like this show, eventually, like I bought my first musky lures at Musky Max up in Cranberry, and I bought like 4 grandma lures off of grandma herself, and that really sparked my interest for musky fishing. So this show allowed me to go out and talk to professionals. It allowed me to go out and buy products. It allowed me to sit and enjoy seminars. You guys really get to hear information firsthand from professionals at these shows. You get to learn something about the sport and really take that back and apply it to your fishing. So that's why I do these videos. I share my experience with you guys to show you how awesome these shows can be if you just go and take the time to do it, okay? That's why I do this. That's my whole point, and really just to kind of show you guys what I purchased at the shows and why, those types of things that make these videos fun for me to kind of share my experience with you. So that's the goal. That is the primary goal of this video, is to talk about Musky Max, show you guys the footage from the show so you guys can get a feel for the venue, what it's like to be at a musky show, what it's like to be at Musky Max, and really just kind of show you my experiences and what I came away with from the 2023 Musky Max. All right, so if you guys have been Musky Maxing for any amount of time, you know that the show's moved around quite a bit. Well, Musky Max has found a home down in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania at Princescape Arena. Now, Princescape Arena, awesome venue for a muskie show. Just absolutely awesome. There's like a veranda on the top of the show. You've got the turf down for the soccer field. It's a hockey rink, so there's a lot of cool stuff going on. It's just a really awesome venue to be at and really spend an entire weekend at, surrounded by muskies. Now, let's start with some of the exhibitors that are at this show, okay? This is really important because Shawn Leopardi does an absolute awesome job when you talk about the exhibitors, getting guys in the door. So really quick, I want to kind of run down through what this exhibitor list looked like so you guys can get a feel for some of the people that are there exhibiting their products. So when you look at this list, you have B&N Custom Rods and Tackle. That's Nick and Bob Cox. You got Bang and Bottom Outfitters, Guide Service. You got Baker Lures, Giant Draw there. You got Big O's Bucktails, my man Owen. You got Blue Water Baits. You got Boggs Custom. You got Boss Shad. You got Captain Chaos Muskie Guide Service, Cave Run Muskie Lodge, Chaos Tackle, Crash's Landing, Crossbone Baits, Disobedient Spirits Craft Distillery, Fat AZ Muskie Products, Fins and Grins Muskie Charters, Grim Reaper Lures, Keystone King Muskie Lures, my man Mark King, Jake Lactovic and Lactovic Lures. He's a newcomer. We're going to talk about Jake here in a little bit. You got my man Todd Leopardi with Leo Lures, The Lunge Lodge, Marshall Custom Tackle, who we recently had on the Muskie Hunks podcast. Josh is a great dude. You have McElwain Motor Car Company, who's sponsoring the event. You got Muddy Creek Fishing Guides, Muskie Bumper, the Muskie Hunks podcast, Muskie Hunter Magazine, Muskie Innovations, the Ohio Muskie Club, Pandemic Baits, PA Fish and Boat, Red October, Rig Boss, Rock On Charters, Rocky Point and Tackle from Wisconsin, Ryan Painter Customs. Huge draw to the show this year. My man Evan Schoss, which you guys are going to see the amount of Schoss Bait Company products I picked up. Skinner Spinners, Slow Flow Muskie Baits. Big news from Slow Flow there too from the show. Smutley Dog, Mark's a legend. You got Spray Bomb Bait Company with Andrew I. Stealth Tackle and John Betty. Spencer's Angling Adventures. Spencer puts giant fish in the boat all year. Duff Thury from Supernatural was there. You had that Swinger Trailer Arms was there. Three Rivers Muskies Inc. That's my president, Joel Morrow. Tony Grant Outdoors. Top Notch CNC Machining. That was new for the show. You got my guy Steve Gould with Trophy Time Leaders. You got Urban Fly Company. You got Vic Sports Center with some of the boats there that you can look at. And a couple other ones, Wiley Lures with Dale Wiley, and then also Greg Them with Extreme Muskie Lures. Now, guys, that was just a few of these exhibitors that were at the show. Like, really awesome list of exhibitors for you guys to come out and take a look at their products. That's what makes this show special. Shawn does a great job pulling all these people into one venue to give you guys an awesome weekend for muskie fishing and to buy some of these products. Now, guys, we talked about some of the guides on there. Again, an opportunity for you to come out and schedule a trip. I know my guy, Nate Budd, he's an honorary hunk for the Muskie Hunks podcast. I know he scheduled his trip with Banging Bottom. I know lots of guys out there scheduling trips with Banging Bottom and also scheduling trips with Todd Young and Muddy Creek Fishing Guides. Really awesome opportunity for you guys to come out and check new bodies of water out, like Ken Trail down on the New and James River. Again, like St. Clair, Quintano. You have Berman. You've got Cave Run, Tony Grant, Greg Thomas. There's all these other guides like Brian Clark and some of these other ones that are there at this show. It's just an awesome opportunity for you guys to check that out, understand where they're fishing, and plan your trips for the year. Can't say enough about the guides that come out to give you guys that opportunity to pick their brain and to schedule trips. Now, again, we talked a lot about like the product aspect of this. You guys can see a lot of these lures I have on the table here. A lot of these are from Muskie Max. And I picked up a lot of cool different things to add to my collection and get wet and catch some fish on this year. So again, like just to kind of summarize, like this is the reason why we do Muskie Max. It's your opportunity to check out gear. You can get out on site and check out rod holders. If you guys are in the market for trolling and you guys want rod holders, Fat AZ, Andy, Todd, Vance, they were there. to hook me up with these and get them for my boat. So it's just a very awesome opportunity for you to come out and just look at these products and surround yourself by guys who are doing the same thing. They're out there musky fishing. They're putting time on the water, whether they're professional or whether they're local. This is a great time for you to come out and just have conversations, hang out, drink a couple of beers, buy some products, and just, again, immerse yourself in the sport of musky fishing. All right, so now you guys understand like what Musky Max is, why I do these videos, and what you can get out of this show. Okay, that's the primary thing here. I've had way too many people tell me like, hey, I didn't know Musky Max existed. I saw one of your videos. We came down and we had an awesome weekend. And I met a couple from Maryland, that watches my channel, that listens to the podcast. They're catching a ton of fish on the Potomac River, and they came up and they took advantage of that. And I'm assuming they had an absolute blast just based off of that short conversation. So guys, like, you can take advantage of this show. Like next year, 2024, probably going to be like that first weekend in March. Check the website because that's what this is about. It's about having fun and being surrounded by muskies. Okay, so my 2023 Musky Max experience started on Friday, March 3rd. Now, I've been taking the day off typically the last couple of years. I take the day off, and I'm actually involved now with Shawn Leopardi. Shawn lets me come out and be a part of the setup. I get to help Shawn out, and then I get to set up my camera and do some stuff around the show. We kind of have a really cool agreement set up right now where Dan and I, you guys know Dano if you've watched my channel, we go out Friday and we help him set up. We take care of certain things, task lists. We help him with whatever he needs, and we got access to the show and access for my cameras and things like that. This has been a very cool arrangement for us, and I'm super excited to be a part of this, and I'm super thankful. It's just really cool being a part of the setup and watching guys come in and set their booths up. You get to have these conversations. So Friday was about setup. Friday is about getting the camera set up for the time lapse. Friday is about, helping Shawn set up signs and banners and doing all of these little things like setting up the electrical for all of the booths, running extension cords and power strips. It's also just about doing little things, answering questions, helping people unload their vehicles, things like that. So Friday was much of that. It was just a really cool time, to kind of work hard, but work hard at something that's enjoyable and fun. It's not like grinding at work. We were tired. We were pretty exhausted on Friday night. But the point is, like, it's doing something that you love, and being a part of something that you love makes it special and it makes it easy. So, Dan and I did a lot of that stuff for Shawn. We got to kind of help Owen set up his booth a little bit, just bouncing around. We set up the seminar station with the screen and the chairs, just kind of doing a lot of this stuff. It was cool watching the vehicles come in, the trucks coming in, get cleaned up for the weekend. It's awesome watching the boats being backed in and put in place. There's just a lot of neat things that go on. And again, like, Shawn has everything planned out to a T. Setup was very cool on Friday. We got to meet Mr. Ryan Elizondo. If you guys know Ryan Elizondo, he's from the great state of Washington. Really awesome tiger musky fisherman. Him and his girlfriend Lynn, they do a phenomenal job on the water out there. They catch tons of fish. He actually came in. He flew the entire way across the country to come in and hang out with the musky hunks at Musky Max. So that was really special, getting to meet Ryan for the first time in person on Friday night. And then we all headed out and had a really awesome dinner. Then I went back to the hotel. We had 2 beers, and I posted my time lapse from the setup. We'll throw that in here real quick. I'll let you guys watch the entire time lapse of the setup, and then we'll keep going with the experience from Saturday morning. All right, it's always cool kind of watching that venue come alive. You know, you guys noticed the tables that were there in the middle of the arena. Dan and I and Shawn moved all that stuff around. There was like a meeting there the night before, and you guys can just see like everything coming alive after the pipe and drape, and everything gets built up, and exhibitors are coming in and dropping all their stuff and building their booths. I mean, it's just a really fun thing, and I hope you guys get a kick out of that stuff like I do. Just a really neat aspect to this show. So we got a good night's sleep on Friday night, and you guys know the big day that we've been waiting for 12 months was Saturday, March 4th. This is the day, man. This is like the day where you pop out of bed. I actually got up, I think the alarm went off at like 6. I think the doors opened at 9 o'clock in the morning for the event there. The alarm clock goes off at 6. I was sharing a room with Owen Seaman, again, Big O's Bucktails, and I looked over at Owen and I said, let's go, it's Musky Max. And he like rolled over and looked at me and said, I'm going back to bed. I'm like, okay, I'm getting up and getting a shower, let's go. I was fired up. So I jumped out of bed at some point, went down at the hotel. There's a lot of hotel options there, guys. Like you can stay at like a really nice hotel. You can stay at like a middle grade hotel. They've got all kinds of different areas where you can stay in Canonsburg. So it was pretty cool. We stayed at the Days Inn, and it was just one of those things where you hop out of bed, you get showered, you get dressed, you're ready to go, you're fired up, you go down, you have an awesome breakfast with some boys like Donnie Swink, my boy Swinky, Ryan Elizondo. You know, Tom Venata and his girlfriend Kayla were there with us as well. And then just again, like having Owen and having like Nick Fiesler, he's another Muskie hunk, come down to meet us for that morning at the show. Like we're just amped, you know, we're excited. And keeping in mind, like you're eating breakfast with guys that have booths at the show, right? So this just brings another level of excitement and gets me amped up to walk in the doors. So drive over to the arena. I'm all fired up, ready to go. Grab my camera, go get set up for the time lapse. You know, here we are. I've been counting the clock down since last year, 365 days, and we're currently at the Musky Max. Take a look at the show here. It's still pretty early. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. Kind of noticing the line. It was like, at this point, it was like 8:30-ish. And I'm like standing outside of the line, looking around thinking, there's like nobody here. It's like, holy cow. I just looked around, took some video, took a couple pictures. I had a couple really awesome conversations. I talked to my guy, Adam Kennard, and also my guy, Cody Fye, out there in the line. And it was good to catch up with those guys. You know, just have those conversations that you look forward to. You know, Ryan Elizondo came out, was kind of talking, and we were looking at each other like, holy smokes, like this is not a big line at all. Well, we ended up going inside to get ready and get prepped, and all of a sudden like hundreds of people showed up and the line was backed out all the way from the door in the arena all the way up the steps, snaked around out to the front door. So it was an absolute crazy turnout that we were about to break loose on when the doors opened at 9 a.m. Crockpot.
Ryan Reed.
Let's go. What's up, buddy?
How are you?
I'm all right, man. Ready to go. Good morning. Look at this new banner. Look at a new banner going over
Sharp.
here.
Heck yeah.
Looks good.
Thank you. Oh. Man, I want this back. Oh, Ryan Reed's here. No, he didn't.
Hi, Paul. Morning.
Morning's the personality.
I do like them. They turned out good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. That's my president right there.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, not too much.
See ya. How'd you guys do last night? Good.
No issues.
That's good.
That'll be tonight.
All right. Debauchery. So before the doors open, and this is where I really got a good snapshot of the line at that point, is I like to go out. Last year I started this, like I like to go out and interview the first person in line, okay? You guys know that Dano and I were absolute nuts about Musky Max. We're nuts about Ohio, Chicago, whatever other shows we went to. Our goal was to get there as early as possible and stand in line to get in line for whatever baits we wanted to buy. Most of the time, that was Baker baits, and that was Zach Baker's products. We were doing that for years, where we would go out early, like midnight, 1 in the morning. Well, I can tell you guys, like our records have been absolutely shattered, okay? And we're going to get to that. So I make my way up front, and naturally I look at the first couple of people in line and I just start smiling, because last year, a guy by the name of Kevin Wimmer and his brother were first in line, and much of the same this year. So I got a chance to interview Kevin Wimmer and his brother, and also talk to Nick Novak again. I think he was like third in line. And they basically were out there at 4:30 p.m. on Friday afternoon before the show started. So think about that for a second. 4:30 p.m. all afternoon, all evening, all night, up until 9 a.m. in the morning, when they could go in and get the musky baits that they wanted. Crazy, epic. And I love that, because you guys don't even realize like how many memories you make. Like you're dog tired, you're absolutely destroyed tired, and you probably need to sleep by the time you get to like 11. But that's just such a cool thing. And it makes this show super special. You know, and those guys, I'm sure, have created a lot of memories in the last 2 years just by doing that. So really awesome that they were able to do that. And guys, I just wanted to share with you a quick interview, you know, of the Wimmers and my guy Nick Novak at the front of the line. So hopefully you guys enjoy this.
Good morning, boys.
What's up, guys? What's up? So, Musky Max 2023.
Yeah,
Let's
boy.
go. Let's go. You guys excited?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
All right, so tell me.
Stay awake.
Trying to stay awake.
Yeah.
What the heck time did you guys get here this morning?
Yesterday,
Yesterday.
about 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Yep.
Shortly after that.
I'm right
And
with
he got
you.
here probably at 5 p.m.
Yeah, 5-ish, yeah.
What'd you guys do out there? Camped out?
Froze.
Yep.
Took a little nap.
What does one need?
About 3 podcasts.
Coffee, Red Bull.
Coffee, Red Bull.
Cheater and the kite. Little
canopy.
out there.
Our canopy landed in a tree.
So you guys are all set up to do this. So what are you guys looking for today? Why come to Musky Max so early?
The baits, man. We
Baits?
come for the baits.
There's some gems in here, boys.
All right, so we're here for baits. Anything else? Rods?
Painter stuff.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Bakers, bakers.
Slow flows,
Slow flows, armor
catfish,
trout.
supernaturals, bakers.
All of it.
All of it.
All of it. All right. Well,
Can't go wrong in here. That's for sure.
that's awesome. Well,
Yep.
dude, it's great. You guys come out early. Thanks for you know, just giving us a little sneak peek into what, you know, what it's like to get here early and what you're here for.
yeah.
It was a
Appreciate
long
that,
night.
guys.
Oh, yeah.
Some
Long
of this
night.
stuff ain't gonna last.
No, it'll
Some
pay
of it
off.
probably won't make it to the end of the line.
We'll be gone in a
It
couple
goes.
hours. A couple hours should be going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
We'll be asleep.
All right. Well, you guys try not to pass out in the middle of the floor.
We're going to give our money away first.
All right. Hey, have a good show. Now, after the interview, one of the things I always try to do before the show, after everything's set up, is give you guys a real quick walkthrough, okay? So here's what I want to do. I want to kind of fast forward through this. This is going to give you guys a really good picture as to what it's like to be at Musky Max and what the booth setups look like, what exhibitors were there again. You know, it just gives you a really nice snapshot as I walk around and do this. So enjoy this walkthrough of Musky Max 2023.
Steve Gould, you ready to go?
I'm ready, Ryan. Let's get Max, buddy.
Let's do this. There you go.
What's up, Ryan Reed, yins guys?
What's going on, buddy? What do we got here? Urban Fly Company.
Flies. Dirty fly slapper lures.
Dirty fly slappers. What's that?
Show me your net pick.
Oh, dude, look at this. What's this? Show me your net picks. Nice.
Good morning, Musky Max Exhibitors. 8:23.
Oh, man.
We have about 30 minutes or so. If there's anything you need, let us know.
Let's go.
Hey, yins guys.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, here we go. Just last minute trying to get things organized.
You got like 40 minutes. Owen's still building bucktails.
Look at this guy. Where'd you fly in from?
Washington. Long ways, long ways.
Long ways from home. Look at the big O's hoodie. Look at
That's
this.
it.
We got you.
Everybody's bro staffing
We got
today.
you on bro staff, bud. Let's go.
Only took 24 hours.
We're about to make a fishing PA with Ryan Reed appearance.
buddy, let's
Oh,
go.
boy.
Let's go. You ready?
Musky
You ready for
Max
Max?
2023.
I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go. You ready to go, Kevin?
Yeah,
Ready to
Ryan,
go?
We are ready for Musky Max.
Let's go.
Dude, that's Grim Reaper. Ryan Painter.
What's up, buddy? How you
What's
doing?
up, man? Ready to go?
We are ready to roll.
Ready to go?
Yes, sir.
We got all kinds of love here. Look at
You hit them too hard, they kind of come out. No, he didn't.
Hi, Paul. Morning.
All right, so we talked about the walkthrough. We talked about the line a little bit, how it just kind of like didn't look great at first, but then it just exploded. You guys got to see, you know, the Wimmers interview and things like that. So I go back and naturally I'm kind of standing up front, right? I like to just take some video of a couple of people coming in through the door, you know, just seeing guys that I've talked to many times through social media, things like that. Just kind of a cool thing. So as I was kind of filming, I was also looking around to try to figure out where people were going. You know, that's just one of those things. Like, where is everybody going to flock to? Is it going to be the Baker booth? Is it going to be somewhere else? You know, has there been a shift over the last couple of years? Is that shift maybe casting, trolling? What is that? So it's always interesting to me to see that stuff. And as I'm standing there, you know, I'm realizing like the venue is filling up. So before we go any further, let me share with you guys the Saturday time lapse for Musky Max 2023. Such a cool aspect again to this show. So you guys can see what it was like to be on that veranda, you know, when the doors open and thereafter. Such a cool shot of Prinscape Arena when everybody's rushing the door. Just such a cool thing to me. And again, you guys know, like, I'm super partial to this show. Like, I really love this event. Like, this show, again, it's like my favorite outdoor show of all time. It's, to me, the best muskie show in the country. It's just, there's a lot here. So for me to like really look at that footage and to see how many people were there, it was amazing. It was awesome. It was a killer turnout, and there was just a lot of people that were excited and just genuinely like excited to like pick up specific things and just be involved in the sport of muskie fishing. So very cool to see that. Are you spending money?
Oh yeah, it's bad.
How bad?
It's bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
The show started 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, I've already blew my allotted budget for the weekend. It's all right.
Oh,
luckily, it was a modest budget to start.
Oh, there
I
you go.
planned for this.
This
a little
is what
bit.
happens at Musky Max. We're trying to show the people what happens.
Yeah,
You spend $1,000 in 7 minutes.
It's not a cheap venture. I don't care what Ryan tells you on his videos.
Well, let's go. There's more to go.
Let's do it.
Hey, real quick while I'm thinking about it, we got some interesting things on the table. Can we talk about that for a minute?
Okay.
So what do you got going on?
Practice grubs, lots of them.
And what do you mean by practice grubs? You mean
Practice rubber.
rubber. Look at all that rubber. There's trout worms down there too.
Yeah, that's a trout table.
That's the trout table. Okay.
Corner, trout corner.
All right, so if anybody's been listening to our podcast, you know Tom's been making rubber baits. So how does it feel to have a spread of Musky Max?
I've been huffing rubber fumes and feeling good. You know, about as good as you can feel after a month of inhaling rubber.
So that's great. Well, I feel like this is something that you've been wanting for a while.
For a long time. And there's secret stuff under the table, but we can't show those yet.
All right, we won't. We're gonna get down at some point to the lab and take a tour.
You better.
All right. Cool, man. Look at these grubs. What's your beer choice?
Iron City
40 years
Light.
ago.
Look at this hat. Look at this hat. Boom. Pittsburgh strong right here, Nate Bud.
And then he always.
How you guys enjoying the show?
How we loving it. Lena, are you enjoying the show?
You enjoying the show?
She's eating those loins.
Eating loins. It's all good. I understand. I could go for some loins myself right now.
Oh yeah.
The proceeds from these raffles will go to Ohio Musky Club, the Musky chapter, and...
All right, so here's another thing about Musky Max as I stare at your feet. We give each other little presents around here. So what do we got? It says dirty trawler.
I didn't get it to say dirty. That would have cost more.
Casting.
He wasn't spending that much
More
money
beads,
on me. On our bestie bracelets.
Our friendship bracelets.
Now, guys, you know, Saturday for me is about kind of running around to the booths that I want to get to after the doors open and really pick up some of the lures and gear that I need for the year. So that's kind of what I was focused on. I was taking some pictures as I was running through the event, just kind of seeing people there. And one of the things I noticed, okay, and this is not a knock to anybody, please do not think that. I just thought this was interesting. Normally, I run to the Baker booth because most guys are there. You know, Pennsylvania is known for trolling. We troll hard and we troll fast. And normally, the Baker booth is backed all the way up to the door. Now, I thought this was interesting because this year was a little different. I went over to the Baker booth, and as you guys can see, the line was good. There was a lot of people there.
Don't forget we have seminars coming up. First one is at 10:30.
What's up, man?
How are you?
Good, man. Back there with a lot of good stuff.
Starting to line up for Bakers. But as I moved back around to the other side of the venue, I realized that I'm just going to say the Shenandoah Bait Makers Alliance. We're going to say Andrew I with Spray Bomb, and we're going to say Ryan Painter from Ryan Painter Customs completely blew my mind. The line was backed all the way up to the door. These guys were there and excited for Ryan Painter Customs and for Andrew I's Spray Bomb Baits. Like, bottom line, that's what guys lined up for on Saturday morning.
I'm here. Put these down. How much are you doing, bro? And go back to there.
I thought that was super awesome. Super cool. Because, number one, we just interviewed those guys on the Musky Hunks podcast a little while ago, a couple weeks ago. We knew that they had a cult following. We knew that people wanted those baits and they're in demand. And we know that they're, again, like small batch. They both have full-time jobs, so they're not pumping these things out. So they're relatively harder to get. And it's just one of those things, like, to talk to those guys on the podcast and then to just like see that line and see how busy they were. And like guys were going nuts over like gliders and catfish baits. Like, dude, it was awesome. I loved it. It was so cool seeing that success for those guys. They traveled a long way from Virginia, and man, that was something that I really thought was special about the 2023 Musky Max. So shout out to Ryan Painter and Andrew I. You guys killed it. Awesome job with your booths. Awesome job at the show, and I know you guys made a lot of people happy by bringing those baits to Musky Max. Now, guys, another cool thing about Musky Max, it's seminars, okay? The ability to learn more about the sport of musky fishing. The opportunity to sit down one-on-one with a professional and learn from them regarding muskies and musky fishing, okay? Can't say enough about that. A lot of people don't do those seminars. And a lot of people, like myself included, like I get tied up, I get busy, I miss a lot of that stuff. And there are opportunities to help you guys catch more fish. Like seminars are a huge draw. Huge draw. Now guys, on Saturday regarding seminars, you had Spencer Berman filling in for Jason Quintano, again talking about St. Clair, talking about catching giant muskies, an opportunity for you guys to pick brains. Spencer does a phenomenal job with his seminars. He shares a lot of information. That was a can't miss. Awesome, awesome job by Spencer, and really, again, great opportunity for you guys to pick up some tips and tricks. Now, next up on the seminars, Ken Trail. Ken is one of my favorite speakers of all time when it comes to musky fishing. The dude has been there and done that. He catches a ton of fish. You know, he also gets on some of that smallmouth stuff down on the New and James River. Really cool seminar he does. Again, like a chance for you guys to learn more about that beautiful area down in Virginia. It's an up-and-coming musky fishery. There's a lot of big fish caught there every single year, and it's just something that's neat to kind of see and hear about and learn more about. So again, Ken Trail, awesome job. I think the last seminar for the day was Brian Clark. Now, I failed to get a picture, so Brian, I apologize. Brian's another one. He always does a lot of good seminars. He brings a lot of good information, and you guys can tailor that to your fishing, whether you're up on Chautauqua or here in the state of Pennsylvania. Just awesome opportunities to learn more about the sport of musky fishing. Great stuff on the seminars. Now, we're going to talk about the one seminar that was on Sunday as well. It's a guide panel. Really cool opportunity for you guys to come out on a Sunday and sit there and pick the brains of these very talented musky guides. You got Vance Kalaws. You got guys, again, like Ken Trail, Brian Clark, Jason Quintano, Spencer Berman. You got Tony Grant moderating the thing. Like, this was just a really awesome thing that Shawn put together, and you guys can ask these guys whatever you want.
I'll answer it. Lake St. Clair. Everybody should fish there. Chautauqua Lake's terrible, and no one should ever go there.
Whatever you want about the sport of musky fishing. Crazy. I can't believe more people don't take advantage of that. I failed to do it because I was so busy at this show. But guys, come out on Sundays and check that guide panel out. I swear to you, like, you will not be disappointed. Like, that is such a fun thing that Shawn's doing, and all these guys buy into it, and they will answer your questions, and it's just a really cool thing about Musky Max. All right, so one other thing I want to talk about is the raffles. Okay, Shawn and his team do a phenomenal job when it comes to raffles. They're raffling off like all kinds of stuff. Like, all of these exhibitors are giving back to this raffle, and a lot of these proceeds will go to certain places that are like super important, like Muskie's Inc., for example. So, you know, you guys, again, if you're really into raffles, if you like a 50-50, if you like to win some musky lures, you like to win a basket full of goodies, you know, you've got the kids table there. There's kids raffles. Like, Shawn does a great job with all this stuff. And if you like to do that, you have opportunities to do that here. You guys can look at any of these raffles. They had these like super raffles this year where you won, like, I think it was like a $200 gift card to Leo Lures, Wiley Lures, or you could do the one setup that had the swing tongues. That, you know, that's the kind of thing that you can do at these shows. Like, they give away a lot of prizes, and it's just a really cool part of it. So if you guys are into that, if you guys are into the raffles, like, there's lots of opportunities there for you guys to win cool stuff.
I know it's all good.
There you go. Congratulations.
Hey, look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Dude, look at that. I get $200 worth of Wiley Lures, yo.
Dude, oh my.
That's right, yo.
Guys, I just want to take a minute to talk about something really awesome that happened at Musky Max. Todd and Lori Leopardi at the Leo Lures booth, they decided for the show that they were going to do a kids coloring contest. Now, what they did was they went out and they got a bunch of coloring sheets made, and they were able to get one of these set up with like a blank lure, and they give the kids an opportunity and a workspace to be able to take these coloring sheets and really color a lure and make their own pattern. Now, guys, this was super awesome. The Leopardis gave these kids a creative space and just something cool to kind of be engaged at the show. Now, I really thought this was an awesome idea, and I thought Todd and Lori did a great job with this. What they did was they gave these coloring sheets out. The kids ultimately colored the sheets out, and the Leopardis kind of posted those sheets all around their booth. Now, the idea of this was to essentially do a raffle, pull a winner, and that winning color pattern, whichever kid was pulled, essentially Todd was going to make a bait and paint it in that color. And that's exactly what happened. Just such an awesome idea. And again, a cool way to get these kids involved at the show. It was kind of a funny story because our good friend Rob Plocky and his son Jace was actually pulled as the winner. So Jace won that coloring contest at the Leo Lures booth.
Jace Plocky.
And then later that year at the Chapter 16 of Muskies Inc. youth outing on Lake Arthur, I was actually drawn to take Rob and Jace Plocky out on the water. And sure enough, as the story goes, we were able to get Jace his first fish on that very Leo Lures custom painted bait that Jace had essentially developed and created at Musky Max. It was an awesome memory. I'm really thankful to be a part of that. If you guys want to see the full interview with Rob and Jace, I have it on my YouTube channel. So again, guys, kudos to Todd and Lori Leopardi for doing this. Such an awesome idea to get the kids engaged and involved at Musky Max. An awesome idea to get them in a creative space and just kind of let their creative juices flow. Kudos to them for this. That was such an awesome aspect to Musky Max. And I'm really thankful that I got to have a small part in that and get Jace out on the water and, essentially help him catch his first muskie. So what an awesome story and a memory that I'll never forget. So like all of these things that we've talked about, like the products, the conversations you guys can have with these, the seminars, the raffles, like just opportunities to talk to local fishermen. Like there is no losing when it comes to Musky Max, like no losing at all. None. This is a win-win through the entire weekend. Like I promise you that. So, I just wanted to make sure like I hit some of those points. You guys know and understand from like my videos, like these are just, again, like I can't stop saying it. Like these are just killer opportunities for you as a musky fisherman. And the other thing I noticed about Musky Max 2023, crazy the amount of new musky fishermen that walk through that door. Guys that are young, guys that are older. There were families, there were wives, there were kids. Like it blew my mind. Crazy amounts of new people getting into the sport. This show is a great resource for you. Another great resource is Chapter 16, Three Rivers Muskies Inc. Again, that's my president, Joel Morrow. Joel does a great job, and he manages the club. He gets a lot of help from guys like Charlie Mueller and Donnie Swank, and you got Gary Andreas, and like a lot of these other people that are involved in this club. Muskies Inc. is how I met the Muskie Hunks. Muskies Inc. has given me a lot of opportunities through meetings, through the lure swap, through just communication channels to get better as a musky fisherman. These shows, like Musky Max, give you an opportunity to go out there and talk to Three Rivers Muskies Inc. Chapter 16, gives you opportunities to talk to the Husky Muskie Club, gives you opportunities to talk to PA Fish and Boat. Like where else can you get a hold of a biologist and talk muskies and the impact of musky fishing than right there at Musky Max at the PA Fish and Boat booth? Guys, like resources for you as fishermen. Like that booth, I looked over, there were like 3, 4, 5 guys at the Fish and Boat booth having a conversation about muskies and musky fishing. It was awesome. I loved it. I love it. It's great stuff. So, all of the above, okay, that's what I'm doing at these shows. Like I'm walking around, I'm just taking it all in, I'm buying up products, I'm talking to friends I haven't seen in a while, I'm talking to guys I've never met before, I'm getting stories, we're telling stories, we're hearing stories. You're just a part of this like crazy, awesome, musky weekend. And I just want to go back right now and relive that entire 2-day experience. So I can't really like say that much more about it. Like you guys can go out there and do all of these things and be a part of it.
Sit there and not do video. What's going on with this? Yeah.
Oh, I brought him down for Jeff. It's his baits there. Got him in Milwaukee. I said, you want me to take him down to PA? So it's been good.
Very cool. That's awesome stuff. Sneaking nose in the back of the Musky Bumper booth. That's good stuff.
How's it? Flaptails.
How's it going with Musky Bumper?
Really good. Doing really good with Musky Bumper. Very excited.
That's cool, man. You make a killer product. Inherited a killer product. Looking forward to seeing what you do with it.
Sweet. Thank you.
And I really did not do a great job doing interviews at Musky Max this year. But two guys that I absolutely had to fit in. Number one, Greg Them from Extreme Musky Lures. And number two, my guy, Todd Leopardi from The Leo Lures. These guys, they're just super down to earth. They make awesome killer musky lures and products. And, you know, I couldn't have more respect for those two guys. So that's what we did. We did an interview with Greg, and then we jumped over to Leo and did an interview with Leo. So right here, right now, let's go out there, and you guys can take a listen to the interviews with both Greg at Extreme and Leo from Leo Lures. All right, guys, Musky Max 2023. We're in the Extreme booth again with Greg.
Hey, Ryan.
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Very good.
We also,
yourself?
Dude, we're hanging in there. It was an awesome show.
Yeah.
I'm tired, though.
Yeah, I am as well.
I think everybody's pretty much exhausted at this point.
Yep.
But it was an awesome first day, and today looks like there's some guys here, you know, pretty cool. We also have in the booth with us Mr. Colton from Salty, what is it, Salty?
MFB.
MFB. So we got a young guy here in the booth, and we're here to talk about Extreme. So before we kind of get into the booth, like one of the things I wanted to talk about, Greg, is you've got a new bait for this year.
I do.
So what is that bait?
Yep. So it's called the Erratic Shad, and it's a 5-inch body bait, about 7 1/4 inch long with the lip, big square lip. The unique action of this is what really is triggering people to buy. It'll walk from 3.2 to 4.5 miles per hour. Above 5, it just straightens out. Okay. The action is incredible. It's very, very consistent, which as a bait maker is extremely important.
Yep.
But it's just been phenomenal support for the first 3 shows. Couldn't ask for more. They're all gone again today. So really looking forward to seeing a lot of fish caught on these. These are new for 2023.
That's awesome. And you have a video out there on Facebook as well to show the action of that bait. And boy, that thing moves.
It does.
It's awesome stuff to see that. So, Colton, you have a question for Greg, right?
What inspired you to make this bait?
So, a couple of things. As a bait maker, you know, if you bring the same things to every show, at some point they're going to get saturated. Okay. Yeah. My baits hold up, which is good. They catch a lot of fish and they still keep going. But I also had some pretty high profile people say, hey, you should try to make a bait that does this.
Okay.
And so that kind of inspired me. I made them last year, designed them, and really from the first time, I didn't have to tweak them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That never happens, by the way. So it was just pure luck. So
that's great stuff, dude. Well, that bait looks really good.
Yeah.
It is a good question, man.
I have another one too.
Yeah. All right, go shoot.
How was that built? Like, how did you go in and make it how you wanted it to be?
So I first started off with a design, kind of what I wanted it to be. So, you know, when you look at this bait, it's kind of got a shad profile, but it's just a little bit bigger. You try to match the hatch, you know, so a 5-inch shad is a pretty big shad for Ohio and some of our reservoirs, but it's, you know, it looks like a shad. I decided to do oversized eyes. I think that makes it look, you know, stands out. The first ones I did have smaller eyes, but everybody likes those bigger eyes. And then, you know, I make all my crankbaits the same way. They're all through wire constructed, 2 coats of epoxy, you know, good strong hooks. And they just hold up. They hold up to fish. I mean, anywhere from the mini all the way up, it doesn't matter. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have any other questions for Greg? Here, let me get.
Any other questions?
Just how long have you been making all these baits for?
Yeah, it's a good question. So someone came in yesterday and said, he was going through his box and he said, I have some baits from 2006, which I didn't think I was making baits that long, but maybe I did. I know it's been at least 10 years that I've been doing shows. So this is my fun hobby. It's fun seeing you guys, having customers come in, tell stories. This year I got kids with their first muskies they've ever caught, you know, on my baits, so it's fantastic.
Talking about the kids, I heard you've been giving out kids shirts.
That's something that I started as a tradition. Every show I do about 30 kids t-shirts that I give out. You know, put smiles on their faces. They're here with their mom, dads, grandma, grandpa. They may not want to be here, but they get something for free and they like it. So
yeah, I think that free thing is less get them like, this is cool, I want to come back to this.
Exactly, and there is more benefits to doing that, obviously, absolutely.
And also the pricing on that is not
I really try to keep the pricing affordable for everyone. When kids come in, if they're buying something, they're not going to pay full price. That's just something that, you know, even the older kids like yourself, right?
Yeah.
But no, this is a fun thing for me, and I'm just appreciative of all the support at all the shows, seeing new faces come in, existing customers. It's great.
Right. And then also with the line chart, like you can always
This is a great little tool. I've got cards, anybody that needs them, they're on my table. But the first thing that usually people come in and ask, hey, how deep does this go?
Right.
Well, there you go. You can just go right to it. And it actually saves a lot of time in the booth, because that's usually the first question. I just hand them a card or point them right to there, explain it, and they're like, oh, cool, that's great. You know, and it's a simple thing. You know, it takes time to do it first, but yeah, it's got the erratic shad on there for this year, so try to keep it current.
Speaking of minis, you guys know I love the minis. All over the minis. You only got a couple left here.
There's only a couple left.
Looking good. So what else you got?
That's a mini fish right there, a 49 3/4 salt pork fish that my friend Elmer Hyatt caught.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of big fish, a lot of variety of fish are caught on that. Awesome little bait.
If you were to pick one bait out of every single one of your baits, which one would you pick to fish with?
Well, that's a loaded question.
All right, let's say
I tried to get him on that cold.
You did.
I tried.
Now I got to try to be consistent.
All right, let's say you're at your home
We just
lake.
put you in a pickle right there. You need to go back. You want me to pull up the live real quick? No. Hey, so it really depends what time of the year.
Yep.
If you're fishing springtime in shallow water, casting a mini over a structure, emerging weeds, banks, gliders, twitch minnows, those would be good. But if you're like late spring or early summer, where you're kind of trolling over, 8, 10, 12 feet of water, I'm probably going to go with a walking shad. And the 4-inch walking shads have caught multiple fish over 50 inches in Ohio, which is pretty special over the last couple of years.
Awesome stuff. Well, Greg, I know you might have some guys here getting ready to come into the booth. So, hey, man, thanks for coming out to the show.
Absolutely.
Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you for doing what you're doing.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Maybe we can get on a podcast.
Oh, we're getting you on. You're coming on.
All right. Sounds good. Anytime.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right. Thanks buddy.
Colton.
Yep.
All right, guys. Musky Max 2023. We're in the Leo booth. Who would have guessed?
Yeah, the Leo booth again.
It's always the Leo booth. I got Mr. Todd Leopardi.
Hey there, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Good show.
Good. Show's been good?
Yeah, it's been real busy.
Looks like you don't have a whole lot of baits hanging around back
we're
there.
moving through a pile of baits this show. Another good show in fishing PA.
That's awesome. We also got Colton back for another one.
How you guys doing?
Cool. So, Todd, one of the things I wanted to ask you about is, every year you bring a ton of lures, ton of colors, ton of baits, but there's one lure in particular I want to talk about, and that's that Leo truck.
Yeah, it's a Leo truck right here. It's a top water lure. It's a wood. It's all cedar, and you can see how the head will spin. And it's a lure that was built like this. It's similar to was the South Bend Truckerino. It was built like 1939. The head was very similar. The body was round, and it was a lot smaller. So the whole lure was about that big. So I just increased the size of it. Used my Mojo body. Now it's a musky size, but we have like rivets on the inside, so it's not running just on the wire on wood, and it just makes for a smooth retrieve.
Very cool. So how long have you been making that lure?
Just like this, I've been making it only about 2 or 3 years, but I've been making the truck since like the mid 1990s. But that was with a rounded body. So with the shad body, it's just the last couple of years we're making it like this.
Okay, cool.
What was your inspiration to make it like that? What your inspiration to make it like that?
Just with, honestly, through Ed Ladiano. He was a lure maker from Elwood City, an old timer. He was the first one that ever showed me the original Truckerino from South Bend. And I just thought it was the coolest looking lure. I mean, it was only made, I think, for 2 years. And Ed gave me one to make a replica of, so I had a copy. And you know, we just screwed around with it, making it larger. But yeah, I would say Ed had a heck of a lot to do with me, you know, making this lure.
That's awesome. How long have you been making all of these?
Started getting into making wooden baits in like 1992, like right around there, and didn't really sell them much. It was pretty much making them for myself and buddies and stuff. But yeah, right around then, we made bucktails before that. I think I started making bucktails in like 1988 or 89. So,
doing this a long time.
Yeah.
You've been fishing.
I even had hair back then.
That's one of my favorite parts from our St. Clair video. Right before a rod goes off, Todd goes, well, I guess my bald head's gonna be on camera.
Big old bald head.
It was so good.
That might have made the rod go off.
It might have. Maybe we need to rub that head more out there.
I don't know about that.
All right, well, cool. Do you have any other questions for Todd?
I don't think so.
The other thing on this is in Ryan's color for his wife. It's called Dee's Perch, so it's a custom color we did for Ryan's wife, Deanna.
And everybody knows that I was geeking out about that one. I was super excited. We talked about it, and when I posted about it, and I was all smiles. So thank you for doing
It's a good
that.
color. I mean, with all the yellow and the gold scale and everything on there, and the contrast of the black and white bars, I mean, that is definitely going to catch fish. You can see on the head, different colors.
That's amazing. Well, you know, almost another max in the books here.
Yeah,
it's been a couple hours left.
It's winding down.
But I always get to you late, I feel like.
It's all right.
I'm sorry. It's so good. Todd, thank you again. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ryan.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
We got camera set up. Come here and monitor. We've got raffle tickets going on. Super Max tickets. 50-50. If you're interested in taking a ticket, get on it now. We're going to draw all the prizes, including the 50-50, after the presentation session.
You know, Greg is such a good dude. You know, Todd is such a good dude. Again, check out their products. Just a really good job by Colton to kind of help me through that. And he learned a little bit about how to do interviews, you know, at shows like Musky Max. So that was a win-win for me. But guys, there were 2 other interviews I wanted to do for the show just to kind of promote their products. And one of which is my guy, Jake Lakovic Lures. Okay, Jake's a local guy to Pittsburgh. He's making the shad in that. Okay, Jake was on the Fat AZ Muskie podcast. And they reviewed his baits on the Fat AZ Muskie podcast. And then Jake was excited. He was ready to go. People were talking about his baits. We got him on the Musky Hunks podcast to come on and talk fishing. Really, really fun episode. If you guys want a fun episode to listen to, go out to Podbean, go out to Apple, check out the Jake Lakovic episode on the Hunks podcast. You know, during that podcast, we talked Jake into getting a booth, or at least talked to him about thinking about getting a booth and setting expectations. Not an easy thing to do as a local new bait maker. Okay, it's just not easy. So, you know, looking back on that, like Jake decided to get a booth. We're all pulling for Jake to, you know, sell baits and have just a really awesome show. Well, I got to do a quick interview with him, you know, before the show started, I think on Saturday. So I wanted to play that for you guys. That was such a cool little interview that I got to do with Jake.
Figure my angles out here.
So what are we doing here?
What are we doing here?
What are we doing here? We got
Lakovic Lures, first time in Musky Max. First time ever.
Hey,
We're excited. We're pumped.
We are so glad to see you. Glad
See
you're
what happens
here.
here, I guess. I don't know.
good, man. We're excited.
Take advantage of special offers that you do.
Can you take me through your baits real quick?
All right, so I'll start with the small one, the Hillbilly Minnow here. It's a shallow diving bait. It's on cedar. Got the depth. I think it's about. Let me get my chart right here.
This thing goes about 6 feet with about 50 feet of line out.
Okay.
5.5 inch bait.
Cool.
This is the Shad and Nat. This is the one that was...
The Shad and Nat.
Yeah, this is the one that got some attention on a couple podcasts and stuff.
All right.
Another cedar construction. Goes about 6.5 feet deep with about 25 foot of line out.
Okay.
Got four out VMC hooks on it. And this one has been pretty popular for me lately.
That's a cool color too. I like it. I like what you're doing there.
And up here,
what do we got here?
We got the Jumbo Shad and Nat. This thing's 7.5 inch body, 3.6 ounce, 7/0 mustad hooks. This thing will get down about 8.5 feet with 25 foot of line out.
So cool, man. Look, paint's good. Everything that's good.
Thank you.
So, what was it like building for Max?
A little stressful.
Yeah.
A little stressful. Yeah, I got kind of a late start. I wasn't expecting to come here. I got a lot of good encouragement from a bunch of people, so decided to put the pedal to the metal in December, and my buddies over here helped me. Adam and Bill over here helped me out.
Getting some help done.
Huge help for me. Bill built a display, and they both came over a couple times and helped me build some baits. And about 60 baits for the show. And
cool, man. That's good.
Hopefully to get a few out here. Yeah, I want to see how people do on them.
All right, cool, Jake. Well, dude, seriously, thanks for doing this.
Hey, thank you.
Hope you guys do well today.
Yep.
We'll be around.
Yep, sounds good.
So Jake Lakovic, check out Lakovic Lures. Again, locally grown here in Pittsburgh. Couldn't find a better person to interview. And we're going to talk more about Jake later because we ain't done with Jake. Okay, Yins ain't done with Jake yet. So that's what we're going to do. All right, guys, one other interview that I was able to do at Musky Max. And if you guys know Ryan Schwackhammer, he's from like a little bit further east here in Pennsylvania. Ryan's got a really good relationship with Rocky Point Tackle Company, okay? Now, Rocky Point, they came a long way. They're from up in Wisconsin, and they traveled all the way down to Canonsburg, PA for Musky Max. So, you know, that's the type of individual that I want to highlight. I think that's a cool thing that they asked me to do that interview. So I thought I'd just give Joel a second here to kind of walk through Rocky Point Tackle Company and give you guys a quick snapshot, you know, what they bring to the table from baits and things like that. So enjoy this interview with Joel from Rocky Point. All right, guys, Musky Max 2023. We're here with Joel and the Rocky Point Tackle Company. What's up, man?
It was a great show. We love coming out here. I mean, all the people are awesome. Shawn, you guys, his family. It's very family oriented, and we get to meet a whole lot of really nice people and work with, and come out to a part of the country that we really haven't been to. We have a lot of customers out in Pennsylvania. That's why we looked at this show with online sales, and we figured we'd bring the product right to them.
That's cool,
and
man.
There's only a couple of us from the Midwest, so I mean, the trek out here for us is absolutely worth it.
Cool, so you guys are from Wisconsin then?
Correct.
Whereabouts in Wisconsin?
In between Milwaukee and Madison.
Okay, all right, cool. Cool, so let's show me what you got here. What do you got in the booth?
What kind of brought us to fame, if you want to call it fame? I mean, I still can't believe that we're selling baits that we're making, and it's really cool with the people that have been fishing with this stuff. But the Willow Rage is pretty much what brought it all to the forefront. And we went back old school with it, with our twist of a weighted head. On the bigger baits, we have a 1 ounce weighted head, and then this is a number 10 Magnum Willow blade. Okay. And what it does, when it loops back around, you can see the actual video of it. We work with a lot of science stuff, and everybody thinks science is boring and sound science. They just want a bait that catches fish. And what we do is we use that to our advantage, and really getting into what the science is and targeting the fish's lateral line, because that's how they feed. Water displacement is the first part. You think of minnows and they're chasing bait fish and stuff around. Then we get into how we use the clevis on the wire with the size blade, or the heavy blade with the small ones that we use. And it creates a violent disturbance in the water of reacting against each other, but working the way that we want it to work, and shaking the bait back and forth. Okay. And doing that. So you've got now a sound, a different vibration because of the water displacement, water flowability on the blade itself, that's different than other bucktails that are out there. So we kind of draw a line, and we're a little bit different than your regular bucktail and what we're looking at and what we do. So that all coupled together kind of makes what the Rage what it is, and it just catches fish. I mean, we got guides that, I mean, this is their business. People are paying them to put fish in the boat. Bait shop owners that are selling a ton of these baits back where we are, and we know from them, the people out here in Pennsylvania are buying our baits and coming and seeing the people that have bought them from the shops back home. Ross's Sports Shop is probably our biggest retailer, and he does a ton of sales out here in Pennsylvania.
That's very cool.
So from that, you come out with that, and people wanted smaller bait. There's a lot of people out there that can't throw bigger blades, and yeah, the big blades they pull, they're not 10 or something 9 pull, they're a little less, but there's still some pull there. So a low gear reel, it makes it a whole lot easier. So from that, we morphed to the Nano Rages, and that we came out with both the Willow and the Colorado blades. And we use the blades that we use, we work with the blades to get the maximum shake and flowability that we can. There's a lot of stuff, the way that they come, they flow real tight to the bait. And like I said, there's stuff that we do that causes it to flail out to get the maximum shake that
Thanks, Tony, for moderating as usual. It's making it entertaining and fun.
This was huge last year.
Last round of tickets
here and back home
for
with
Super
the
Max,
amount of baits that we
and the buckets.
just being a
And we're going to
smaller,
draw those
everybody
shortly.
can throw it.
I know
You can
there's
throw
a
it all
mad rush
season
right at
long.
the end.
You know,
The other
we've got
thing
guys
is
that
what we
Western
want to do
Kentucky,
is
Jason Jackson, that they're
we've got
fishing
the
this stuff
best
in
of
December,
show.
January, and
We've
February,
got
and
the
they're still
best new
catching fish.
exhibitor,
You know,
and we got something kind of special.
Sonny Stevens
Another little
is
announcement.
going nuts.
So,
We got some banners up of her in the
give us a
booth.
few
We
minutes
appreciate
to
all that and people helping
take
out.
care of the last round of 50-50s.
It's kind of not about me. I mean, yeah, okay, I make a bait, but it's a whole lot of people that have worked together collectively that have really taken what we're doing to a whole nother level. So with that, this year we came out with a bass rage. We actually have tournament fishermen down south that want something a little bit bigger, a little bit beefier to fish bass and target fish deeper structure and go where not a lot of the other bass fishermen are fishing. And so we modified the Nano and came out with the bass rage. It's literally a quarter-ounce head. We have a new design head for these. It's a quarter-ounce head as opposed to a half-ounce head, but it's an inch and a half shorter on the whole 5-1 wire. And it's just, it's a 5-inch bait. It's got attitude. It just, you see her going on the screen here.
Football team coming in.
Stop from start to finish, shaking, making noise.
When this show ends, they're going to help you guys carry your goods out. But in the meantime,
that's been really hot. I mean,
how about you invite somebody over?
We're 15 deep on most of these pegs, and I mean, we've moved. I always go deep at shows, and so that we've got product out there, and we've moved a ton of these baits here already this weekend, which is great for the first show that we've had them at. And then for the bigger stuff, we used to have number 10s that we put on the 1-ounce head, and we decided to go more extreme. So we went to the number 12 Colorado with our new 1-ounce head that we're going to be going to in the future, and wanted to use these heads on these. And it's a slower spinning bait as opposed to the Willow for us on this, but it actually shakes more than the Willow. And the first time we threw it, it blew my mind. I'm like, I can't even believe this, but it's a bigger thump, it's a different vibration than the Willow, and there's a lot of guys that we've already had prototypes with last year in northern Wisconsin and Minnesota that have been using these. And guys that wouldn't normally, some guys that wouldn't normally throw big stuff, and with the low gear reels, we're just blowing fish up with these things.
That's awesome.
So it's, you know, bucktail is a bucktail, and there's a lot of bucktails that are out there, and they're all good. I mean, they all catch fish. We wanted to be something different, so we took the Rage head when we decided to go away from the double blade world and go back old school. I grew up in Hayward, Wisconsin, fishing old school, and I knew a lot of the old guys and fished with a lot of the original type bucktails. And that single blade is something that's totally different. And there's other companies that have done that too over the years or started to recently. It's a thing. It is different than the norm. So pretty much what Rocky Point is all about. But thank you to everybody out there that's helped us over the last couple of years and get all this stuff going. They're as big a part of this as we are.
That's awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you making the drive out.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That contributes to the show. Like, we get guys like you that want to be a part of this. And
it's an awesome show. I mean, 10-hour drive we got. You know what? This show and meeting the people and sharing time with some of these people. We become friends with people last year. We knew some people from before that, and it's a really cool show.
Awesome.
Thank you guys for having us.
Awesome, man. Thank you very much.
Heading over to Boss Shad right now. We need one kid. Let's go.
Man, like Saturday was an absolute awesome day. Like I got a lot of the baits I was looking to get. I picked up the rod holders. I got a gift. Let me talk about this real quick. So on Saturday, my guy Nate Bud, him and his dad were at Musky Max. And on one of the Musky Hunk podcasts I talked about with Andrew Ryan, Ryan Painter, I talked about Blue Mountain Barrel House. Like this really epic beer out of Virginia, right? Well, so my favorite beer of all time is actually Blue Mountain Dark Hollow. And if you guys can see that, my guy, Nate Budd, and his dad picked me up a 4-pack from Virginia and gave it to me at Musky Max. Mind blown. Like 4 Dark Hollows at my favorite event by guys like these two guys are just awesome people. Nate and his dad, like shout out to I'm going to say the Buddha Cheskis, the Buddha Nate Bud and his dad. Just such a cool thing. And I'm really thankful. So thank you guys very much for that as a gift. I mean, that was one of those epic things that I'll remember forever, you know, about this show. I'm just getting a 4-pack of Dark Hollow. Let's go. So my dude, Saturday went and was just like here and gone. Like it was crazy. I've never talked to so many people at Musky Max in my life. Like, I had people coming up to me, talking about the YouTube channel, talking about the Hunks podcast. I had so many good, meaningful conversations with local guys and with some of these guys that had booths. I mean, it was nuts. I don't remember ever being that busy at a Musky Max. Like, so much so that I had like I had a major issue with sugar in between seminars. Like, it was crazy. Like I had to sit down and eat a bag of chips. I was trying to troubleshoot a laptop for Ken Trail during his seminar and everything was just blurry. I was like freaked out. I didn't eat because you lose track of time. Like you have all of these really awesome experiences and you're having so much fun talking about the sport of musky fishing that you just lose track of time. Before you know it, it's 5 o'clock. All the raffles are done. All the seminars are done. And there's people are just kind of wrapping up, grabbing baits for the last chance opportunities. And then it's like, Saturday's over. It's like, all right, it's time to go eat dinner, have a couple beers, hang out, enjoy yourself. And that's exactly what we did. But we got up early on Sunday morning, ready to go. The show started at 10 a.m. on Sunday. You know, we had a lot of our baits ready to go. Everybody had their bags filled already. But Sunday is about just hanging out, enjoying the last little bit of Musky Max that you can get. So
pretend here's your bait back there. This bait might come like right here. This here come to the jig and then it comes with your other one here. Pull up the black
What's going on?
Baits are looking good.
Yep, they are looking good. Thank you, appreciate it. How about these tubes though?
Oh, these tubes.
You need some tubes.
Yeah, I need to get some more tubes.
Absolutely. Some of these Hans carbon cranks too. Look at this. Look at that beauty.
Oh, look at that guy.
How is that color still here on Sunday? Yikes.
That's a good one.
Look at these two handsome fellas. What's up, boys?
How are you? You having a good time? I'm good. I'm having a good time. I'm fried.
Yeah, I hear that. 2 days going hard.
You guys guiding this year or what?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to get back out there. I'm pumped too. I want to get out in the water. Should be good. Water levels are coming back up.
Where's your fearless leader at?
He's right there.
Right, you win some lures over there?
No.
Oh.
No, we're picking baits for the banquet. Bang and bottom.
Musky Max.
Go. Ready to go,
Let's
right?
go. Ready to fish.
I was really surprised at the turnout on Sunday. There was a lot more people there. The Fat AZ guys had a DK combo. It was like DK Raptor, DK Stinger. That brought a lot of people in through the door. That's a cool thing. But there's just a lot of neat stuff again going on Sunday with the raffles, with that guide panel we talked about, and also the awards. So, you know, come out on Sunday too. If you guys can't make it to a Saturday and you don't want to be a part of the madness, like Sunday's a good day. There's still a lot of products left. You might not be able to get like an Evan Shaw bait or a really like a prize, like a really high-end baker that you were looking for. You got to be there for Saturday to do that. You know, at some point this weekend, this booth was full of baits.
Yeah, it was loaded with baits, but something happened and I can't control that. Pretty awesome stuff, and I have to thank everybody who came out and bought Shawn's baits.
That's awesome, dude. Look at this empty booth right here.
The new banner looks great. The new banner looks great.
That's awesome. Dude, I'm pumped. I got some minis. I'm ready to roll. Let's go fish.
Let's get some fish.
Let's go, man. Nice job, dude. Nice job. What's that? But if you come out on Sunday, like it's a little bit slower paced, you got a lot of opportunities to talk and have conversations with people. It's just, it's really, when it comes to the sport of musky fishing, like it is literally like, it's like fishing altering. Like it alters your fishing because you get to ask these guys, you get to learn, to have those conversations, pick up new gear to try. I mean, I just can't say enough about Musky Max in general, but on Sundays, it's like a calmer version that actually allows you to have these conversations. So that's what we did, man. You know, we had fun. We had a lot of fun on Saturday and Sunday. Before you know it, it was 3 o'clock. It was time for Donnie to take Ryan to the airport. Everybody was kind of wrapping up and getting ready to shut it down. It was just like, you know, a lot of work. A lot of work went into this show for 2 days. These guys have been making baits and lures for months and months and months. Just really like the culmination was that last couple hours on Sunday when I think everybody could take a deep breath and you just realize like, hey, this was an awesome show. It's time to pack it up and head home. So, you know, that's what I did, man. I ran around. I enjoyed myself on Saturday and Sunday. We got to talk to a lot of amazing people, a lot of talented fishermen. You know, I got to pick up a lot of cool gear. And one last thing I want to mention about the show. Okay, so every year, Shawn does this award ceremony. Okay, so really it's like best exhibitor and new best exhibitor, right? But he added something this year. You know, Legends of Musky Fishing is what he added. So Shawn has 3 awards that he gives out. And the way this works, Shawn either takes votes or he walks around and asks questions, tries to get a feel for, you know, who was the best in show, who was the best new exhibitor, who's the most legendary person in the building, you know, stuff like that. So a couple of shout outs here, okay? Shout out to Slow Flow Musky Lures for the best in show. They ended up winning the best in show, so they must have had a lot of good sales. I know that bait is very, it's a very high quality musky lure. I know that he has a very large presence and there is a huge cult following for the Slow Flow. So that's something that I thought was really fitting. I thought they did a great job overall. And I think that was such a cool thing to watch, you know, him accept that award at Musky Max. Now, guys, like this new award that Shawn had was for Musky Legend. So, of course, like the one person that he picks for this award was probably the best person he could have picked, and that was the legendary Tony Grant. Tony Grant, he's been doing this longer than a lot of people. He's probably one of the most humble, fun, you know, just fishermen and human beings in general. Like, I can't say enough good about Tony. I get to spend a lot of time with him through the road roll stuff that came up every year for that. Talked to him a lot in Ohio. He's just such a genuine, good human being. We got to stay at his lodge on Cave Run years back, Dan and I. So, you know, Tony, congratulations. That was such a cool award to win at Musky Max. You are a legend. And Shawn, thank you for adding that. I think that's just a very cool aspect to this show. Now, guys, the other thing that I want to talk about these awards, like one of my favorite moments from Musky Max this year was the Best New Exhibitor Award. Now, we go back to Jake Lakovic, okay? Our boy Jake, you know, he's been making baits. He was on the AZ podcast again, came on our podcast. He's got a lot of good support from friends and family, and that's key. That's key because his friends and his family drove him to get better, to make musky lures, and to go to Musky Max. Now, what is the reward for hard work? Okay, you're a new exhibitor at a show. Your expectations are low because you don't have that cult following yet. Jake's a real good dude. Like, he's a real good dude. Like, we really like Jake a lot. And he's just, you know, you want to cheer for him. You want to vote for him. You want him to win Best New Exhibitor. So, like, I'm sitting there at the awards, and Shawn is getting ready to call Best New Exhibitor for Musky Max 2023.
The next award that we're going to do is for the Best New Exhibitor. Again, this is polling some people, some other chatter that we've got going on. We're pretty excited about this. Best New Exhibitor for 2023 is Lakovic. Lakovic Lures.
Let's go.
We're pretty excited for these guys, and I was thankful for the feedback that we got from people. Here we go.
He's coming, Shawn.
Partying tonight. We need Team Lakovic. There it comes. Come on back, buddy. Yeah, congratulations. It's always fun when you have a newcomer who is excited about some things, and you know, when we talked originally, you weren't really sure how we were going to do this, you know, with the event and how it was going to work out. How do you feel?
This is awesome. I mean, I didn't expect this at all. It was kind of late that I decided to even try it. It was support from my family, friends, podcasts, Patty's Eat podcast, the Musky Max podcast. Just kind of, you know, put it all together and, you know, supported me. And this is awesome. I'm like, let's go. Congratulations. Here's your award. Let's get one picture real quick. This is really cool. All right, one more round of applause for the newcomer here. Okay, I got one more award before we draw the 50-50. Oh, yeah. This is something new for Musky Max.
Guys, Jake Lakovic, Best New Exhibitor, Musky Max 2023. Let's go. Shouting that, baby. Let's go. I couldn't have been more excited for Jake. I couldn't have been more excited for him, his friends, his family, all the hard work he's put in. Jake, you did that yourself, man. You guys did everything you needed to do to show up there and win an award like Best New Exhibitor. I couldn't be more pumped for you guys. That's awesome. We cheer for local guys here. You know, he's a part of this Pittsburgh scene. He's out there fishing rivers, you know, lakes, and all that stuff around our area. And I just couldn't, I honestly couldn't have been like more stoked to see Jake Lakovic win that award at the 2023 Musky Max. Like, I'm still amped. I'm still amped. And after he won that award, mind you, I was like this. Because we all talked about it on the podcast. We're like, we really hope that he wins Best New Exhibitor. Like, that would just catapult him and get him so fired up. And you want good people to feel that way. You want good people to be excited. So After he won the award, I grabbed my camera and I ran over to the Lakovic booth, and we got this interview right here.
All right, you know what this means right here. We're in the lactic. I can't even talk.
We're fired up, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Lakovic Lords.
Thank you. We're at the booth. What did you just win, buddy?
Best new exhibitor. Didn't see that coming. Look at this. Look at this. Pumped up, man. Like, this is like, there's so much work, man. Like, all that support from family, from Bill here, my buddy Adam, he's on here right now. You know, my wife for, you know, telling me to keep it going. Musky Hunks for putting me on the podcast and supporting me, and Fat AZ, and all of you guys. Like, this means a lot. This is huge.
This is awesome.
I'm like, fired up. I don't even know how to feel right now. This is wild.
This is great, dude. Awesome job, buddy. I'm serious. Awesome job.
Thank you.
Proud of you guys. Nice work.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So really, guys, like that brought this show, like just buttoned it up perfectly for me. Like that was the icing on the cake right there. So I couldn't have been more excited about that. Again, congrats to the Lakovic family and Jake and the Shadinat. What an awesome thing to see and be a part of. And it just really, that just was just such a cool part of my experience. So guys, we talked a lot about the show here. I realize I'm just kind of spewing things. But again, like Musky Max, it's just a really good opportunity for you guys to go out there and again, look at products like I have here on the table. Go out there, talk to guide services, listen to seminars, have these awesome conversations with professional musky fishermen, local musky fishermen, legendary bait makers, legendary fishermen. It's an entire weekend to be surrounded by muskies and musky fishing, and you get a lot more out of it than you guys put into it. I guarantee you that every single year. It's one of my favorite things to do is be at Musky Max and be a part of it. You know, and Dan and I, like, shout out to Dano. You worked your butt off on Friday. We had an awesome time on Saturday and Sunday. I know he did pretty good as far as lures and stuff like that. You know, it's like the opening to spring. Like now we're ready to fish. Like now we're going to take all this stuff on the table and we're going to go out there and we're going to try to put fish in the bag. That's what this show is. It's like, welcome to spring. It's time to musky fish. Let's go. So this show, I can't say enough about it, man. It means the world to me. It's just such a cool thing. I'm glad I could do what I was able to do, cap things off with dinner with the hunks, you know, stay with Owen, and really just pick up a lot of this stuff. So couldn't be more thankful for Shawn Leopardi and for Todd Leopardi and for everybody that's involved. You know, Kathy and Hannah, you know, all the hard work you guys put in, just awesome stuff to just put this show together. And I couldn't be more thankful to all of you, everybody that's involved in that, to bring us a premier muskie show here in Western Pennsylvania. So thank you guys very much for everything that you do. All right, guys, man, this is gonna be a long video. Hang in there with me. I always like to talk about my Musky Max haul. Okay, this stuff gets my blood boiling. It just does. Okay, musky lures have always done that since I started musky fishing. Having the opportunity to support local guys to my area and to help them, you know, and to really just put awesome products in the water to get chewed. Like, that's the whole point of this, is baits and gear and everything else. So I want to start with my first purchase for Musky Max. You guys know I bought an Alumacraft Lunker 165. It's a side console. You guys know I'm going to be doing a lot of trolling this year for walleyes and for muskies. Like, trolling is a huge aspect to my game. Like, that's what I love. I love to set spreads. I love to troll. And there's no better rod holder on the market, period, than the Fat AZ Musky Products rod holders. Okay, bottom line. Fat AZ Musky Products right here. You guys see that? Fat AZ Musky Products makes the best rod holders for whatever situation you're looking to get into for trolling. Now, guys, I had two of the slanteds already. Okay, I bought those years ago. Or this is a slanted Fat AZ rod holder here. And the idea of this slanted, and for those of you that fish, you're already going to know this, but the idea of this is you get the Trax Tech tracks on your boat. This little bottom base slides right into that Trax Tech. And then here, there's a salty. It's a salty rod holder, and you guys can see how it shifts around in there. But the other thing you can do with these slanteds is you can tip them like that. Okay, you can tip them up and down so they sit in the base. You put your rod in there. You can do a bunch of different things. You can angle it that way. You can angle it that way. You can angle it straight down like that. And you can tilt it back and forth. Okay, these are clutch. Fat AZ makes the best rod holders on the planet, in my opinion. Okay, Andy, Todd Vance, those guys. But the slanteds are awesome. So my spread, I'm going to run down rod slanteds, side rod slanteds, and for my board rods, I went with the Fat AZ tubes. Okay, why did I do that? Okay, tubes are amazing for board rods. They just are. They're amazing because a couple different things. My driver's side seat, the track is super tight to that. Okay, I only have a 48-inch piece of track there. I needed something that was going to allow me to take this. And now normally, like, this is how this is going to sit, okay, in the boat. So normally, like, your slanted would be outward. Like, so if the boat's here, if this is the side of the boat, the inside of the boat's here, side of the boat. Like, normally the slanteds would sit like that over the side of the boat. But in this case, it's going to be reversed. And I'm actually going to be able to hold my holders like this. So it's straight up and down. Because my seat is so tight to the track and the gunnel, like, that's what I wanted to do. So I want to have this straight up and down for boards. So as it's sitting there, it's going to be like that on the one side, and then the other side, my other one's there. So I got two of the tubes for the board rods. Couldn't have been more happy. Opportunities for you guys to get these. You know, Andy was there making them. He helped customize that specifically for my boat. You can't get that. You can't get that type of service anywhere else. Like, you can call Andy, he'll do that for you. But one-on-one there, explaining it, being able to buy those, that meant the world. That was the last piece. These are the last piece that I needed to finish the boat. I am now ready to fish. Musky Max 2023, Fat AZ Musky products. My rod holders are in, and we are ready to troll. Let's go. All right, for the rest of this stuff, my voice is starting to go. I want to get through a lot of these baits and just try to get through these as best I can. First thing I want to start with, again, my guy, Owen Seaman, Big O's Bucktails. Big O's Bucktails, Bro Staff. I got the black with the double nickel blades. You guys can see this. I think it says Hunks Forever. I don't know why he did that, but he did it, but that's awesome. You know, again, you guys want spinnerbaits. You want bucktails. Big O's right here, hands down. You're not going to find a more economical lure, and he will build you whatever you want. Whatever skirts, whatever blades, whatever paint, whatever you want. He'll even adjust the hooks on there. If you don't want a single hook on the spinnerbait, he'll put a treble hook on there. Fully customizable. Owen Seaman, Big O's Bucktails on Instagram. Check him out or listen to the Musky Hunks podcast. He sponsors that podcast. You know, that's a great way to start this show. Spinnerbaits catch a lot of fish, and they've caught a lot of muskies for a very long time. So I feel comfortable telling you guys, you know, any of the spinnerbaits out there are going to be good. Big O's is the one that I bought. All right, so looking at my lures here. You guys know I have a really good relationship with Evan Schoss. Evan Schoss has helped me tremendously as I've grown in the sport of musky fishing. Evan was responsible for helping me catch my first fish from shore. You know, I have so much respect for him, and he puts out a killer musky lure. Like, killer musky lure. Okay, Evan's doing a phenomenal job. He's been making that meatball for years. He was like the first guy to ever make like that meatball style bass lure for muskies, but like a musky sized bass lure. Like, he was the guy, okay? Beware of all imitations out there, because Evan was the originator of that, and he's been doing it for a long time. He came up with bait makers like Johnny Datsun and some of these other ones from Canada. You know, some of those like original lure building forums, like Evan was very heavily involved in that. So naturally, being from Pittsburgh, having the relationship I do with Evan, I wanted to support him this year. So one thing I messed up last year, I bought meatballs, I bought the flat baits, I bought the minors, but I didn't get any minis. Mini meatballs are going to be on freaking fire. They caught tons of fish last year. Short lining in the spring, you know, fishing all throughout the year. So mini meatballs, I went hard on the mini meatballs. I ended up with 7 mini meatballs. Okay, here's an example. There's one in cloud. Look at the glitter. You know, there's one in this like orange striped tiger type pattern with the scale. Like, look at that thing. That's amazing. Also, I got like the gold, and I'm going to be struggling here pulling these. Okay, so I got like the gold with the red eye. Dude, that's going to be freaking devastating. Look at that color. Also, Orange Tiger, okay? Guys, notice I went heavy on the oranges. There's probably a reason for that. Also ended up with Brown Perch Mini. Holy smokes, look at that. Look at the freaking glitter. This is gonna be killer on natural lakes too. Also, went with like the Black Sucker. That's a really sweet pattern there too, holy cow. And then lastly, I think he calls this Night Shiner. Just black with the orange and the white belly. Like, you can't go wrong with this pattern. So, you know, I went really hard with the minis. And I'm thankful I did, because I know they are going to put a ton of fish in the boat. And also, one more minor for the year. You guys know Evan makes a minor. This is like a deep diving crankbait, similar to like what you'd see with a perch bait. Can't go wrong with that color. Orange. Look at this silver scale. Like, that's going to freaking get crushed. At least I hope it does, if I run it right. So that's what I did. You know, Shaw's Bait Company was one of the main attractions for me. I did that for a reason, to support Evan, but those baits are going to get crushed. So that's where I started. Now, guys know I mentioned Greg Them at Extreme. Greg's been a super awesome, just person in general. Like, Greg's handing out free t-shirts to kids all the time, and he's doing like the little things that make him a good person at these shows, and he's just super easy to talk to. I have so much respect for him. He makes a killer product. I went to Ohio and I did a lot of the Extreme Minis. Like, I bought 6, 7, 8 of those. The one color that I thought I didn't have that I ended up having was the Chartreuse Crappie with the blue eye. Okay, see that bait? This bait is going to get hit as well. Like, his minis are amazing. If you guys want smaller profile baits like the mini meatballs, the Extreme Minis, like you can't go wrong with this. You can cast this, you control it, you can use this for multi-species. Like, walleyes will eat these. You know, I got walleyes, I caught walleyes on the mini meatball. Like, walleyes eat these, bass eat these. You know, anything will eat these. Like, this is a multi-species bait. So if you don't want to fully commit to like muskie fishing, but you want to get something that will hold up on muskies, like the Extreme Minis right there. Can't say enough good things about that. All right, so from the Extremes, I want to talk about my guy, Mark King, Keystone King Musky Lures. You guys know I'm a huge advocate of Keystone King and Mark. Mark and Rachel are awesome people. I just love them to death. Mark hooked me up with this. This is a secret weapon glider. I love the small gliders. This is a really sweet pattern, chartreuse tail. I love this thing, and I'm really excited to throw it. So, you guys need a glider, you need a twitch bait. Mark King, he's your guy. He's an honorary hunk. He's on the Hunks podcast periodically. Like, check his stuff out. Like, they catch fish. And he's just, again, like, you want to buy from like good solid people like Mark, Greg, like Evan, the Leos. Like, those are like guys that I really truly love buying from. So as we kind of get down through, I want to mention Dale Wiley real quick. Did not go heavy on the Wileys. I usually do. I bought a really big order from Dale like last year, the year before. This is the Wiley Fat Body I ended up with. A lot of guys laughed at me for this color, but I know this color catches fish. Fat bodies catch fish. Couldn't be more excited. I've been looking for this bait for years. Like 2-3 years I've been trying to find this at like O'Donnell's. Couldn't find it. I actually messed up on my order. Thought I was ordering that, but I ended up with Sunset Carp. So it's one of those things, like, that was my fault, but I finally found it. It's in my collection. I can run that, and it's going to be life is good. Okay, one other thing I want to talk about here is my guy, Paul Fristerio Boss Shad. Okay, I've been into the bigger baits this year, you know, a little bit for some of this. I want to show you guys this 10-inch Boss. My freaking goodness. I bought the last 10-inch Boss in Ohio off the rack from Kevin and Paul, and I bought the last 10-inch Boss off the rack from Kevin and Paul at Musky Max, and I couldn't be more excited with this pattern. If you guys look at that, check the eye out. Like, look at the work he did there, dude. That's a sweet, such a cool color. It's got glitter. It's like a bait fishy, shaddy type pattern. Like, this thing is gonna get rocked, and I bought it for a very specific reason, and I really think like this in tandem with the one I got in Ohio, this is gonna be a really good buy. And Boss Shads are known, they've known for catching fish. He's been around for a long time. Kevin catches giants on them. I really wanted to get into that 10-inch minnow this year, and I did that, and I couldn't be more excited about that. Now, guys, to round out my haul from Musky Max, you know, I ended with a Leo. And it's kind of funny because I was actually up Todd's house the other night. I went up to visit, take a look at his computer, and I was up at the compound and I noticed he had some leftovers. So I added those to this particular haul. I did not get these at Musky Max, but I did add a couple. So the one bait that I bought at Musky Max, again, bigger bait theme, thinking about fall, thinking about summer, thinking about whatever. The Leo hogs. Like, Leo makes these hogs, and this is one of his staple baits from years ago. It's just that the Mojos and the Magnums have been so good, you don't hear people talking about these. If you guys notice this pattern, that's Dee's perch. That's the pattern he painted for my wife. That's right, Todd Leopardi painted a color for Deanna, and it's called Dee's perch, and it has all three of her favorite colors in there, yellow, gray, and white. And that's what he came up with. And I think this thing is going to be a smoke fest. Like, it's going to get crushed. I just got to figure out how to work with these with the hogs. And I'm super excited about that. Super thankful to have a color for Deanna out there being sold on Team Rhino Outdoors. You know, Todd's just such a good person, good human being. Love his family, and I have nothing bad to say about the Leopardis. This lure will probably get hit, and I hope it does, so I can send him a picture. But I also ended up with, after the show, I went back up, like I said, I got another hog in that perp tiger color. No, I love the chartreuse belly. I also ended up with another Mojo in Michigan perch, yellow belly. If you guys are looking for a really good bait at like Lake Arthur, like this one right here. You didn't hear that from me, but this is the one. If you don't have this pattern in the Leo, you got to get that color. That's a very good producer. And lastly, just want to throw this out there, the Leo truck. You guys saw the interview earlier with Todd Leopardi on the trucks. I was really needed this. I have one of the older ones in my bait case over here. If you can see that, I've got a lot of old musky lures and stuff that I have people sign there. But this is the Leo truck. This is going to be the topwater bait I'm throwing this year. Got rid of all my other topwaters. I'm going to roll with this and see what happens. See if I can't catch a fish. I also ended up with a Leo Lures hoodie in addition to my Big O's hoodie. And I ended up with another hook sharpener from Leo. You guys, he's making these hook sharpeners like you're never going to find anything like this. This is in that Bang and Bottom color, the Bang and Bottom boys. You guys know I have so much respect for those guys. You know, we're talking Doug Vanasco, we're talking Joel Morrow, we're talking Jesse Barnhart, Dave Rankin, Mark Smith, all those guys that are involved with Bang and Bottom. And just, you know, even Adam Listapad now. Adam just joined as a casting, you know, as the casting service for Bang and Bottom. That's their color. Again, so much respect for those dudes. I'm going to be sharpening hooks with the Bang and Bottom hook sharpener from Todd Leopardi. So couldn't be more excited about that. Guys, that's my haul. That's pretty much everything right there. You know, I said I went pretty hard buying the boat. I was trying not to do this, but I did it. You know, it's just one of those things. What are you going to do? It's fun. It's Musky Max. It only comes around once a year. So go hard, go home, get this stuff bit, and then if you don't get it bit, it'll be at the Three Rivers Muskies Inc. Chapter 16 Lure Swap in 2024. That's just how it goes. So, oh man, guys, we talked a lot here. Said my voice is starting to go. But honestly, like, just to recap all this, like I said before, like you've heard it 100 times from me, like Musky Max is my favorite fishing event throughout the entire year. Okay, it's typically at the beginning of March. You know, the shows typically run from like 9 to 5 on Saturday and like 10 to 3 on Sunday. Keep in mind for Sunday, the guys like to typically pack up early. So if you're going to go out on Sunday, make sure you give yourself enough time. You know, I'll shout out to Darla. She lives out here by me. She got to the show a little bit late on Sunday. It was in a frantic panic mode because people were packing up, you know, before the 3 o'clock. But, you know, it's just one of those things to keep in mind. Like, this show is super fun and it's super exciting to be a part of. You know, for all the reasons that we talked about. Whether you guys are coming out to buy lures, like specific lures like the Ryan Painters of the world or the Andrew Eyes of the world or the Zach Bakers of the world, you guys want to come out and get like pure fish catchers like the Fat AZ Raptors and Stingers, or the Extremes or the Boss Shads or the Leos. You know, like, this is your show. Like, here in the state of Pennsylvania, you are not going to find another show this close that has this amount of musky gear, you know, throughout the entire year. So, you know, like, again, like, take advantage of this show. Like, 2024, like, get out there. Get yourself a hotel room. Get out there. You know, go out and talk to as many people as you can. You know, have, like, meaningful conversations. Like, learn more about muskies. Learn more about the sport of muskie fishing. You know, get your rod holders. Talk to Andy about that sort of thing. You know, come out. Be a part of just those conversations that go on. Be a part of the camaraderie. It's like the only weekend during the year where muskie fishermen get along, you know, aside from beating up somebody that thinks they're a Tiger King professional. It's just one of those things. Like, take the time to do it. Like, take advantage of the seminars. You know, take advantage of the time on Sunday to talk to guys like Dale and hear those stories. You know, just like really immerse yourself in the sport of muskie fishing. Okay, like, our sport's growing and our fishery is getting very, very good.
Hey, Tiger King.
Huh?
So, hey, Tiger King.
Hey.
You ready for dinner?
Am I ready for dinner? I guess. So, guys, that's it. That's my summary. Muskie Max 2023 was a huge hit. Very successful show for a lot of people involved. It was probably the best event that I've ever been to. The most fun I had at a show in a long time. And I'm really looking forward to getting out on the water and using all these baits, using my rod holders, you know, throwing my spinner bait, drinking my beer, using my hook sharpener, all of that stuff. So you guys, you know, check out Muskie Max 2024. You know, check the website out, make your reservations, get your hotel room, get out there, spend a weekend and enjoy the sport of muskie fishing. Enjoy being in a venue full of muskie fishermen. It's something that only comes around once a year, and you guys seriously will benefit from it. It's such an awesome thing, and it's such a cool thing to be a part of that. And again, I just want to thank Shawn Leopardi for involving Dan and I in the setup, giving us access to the venue. You know, working hard for you, Shawn. It was a lot of fun. I hope we can continue to do that next year and just be a part of the show. This show means everything to me as far as muskie fishing goes. I love this event. I'm excited about this. I want to continue to watch it grow, and I want to continue to just see, you know, the sport grow in the state of Pennsylvania. Truly awesome to see that many people that are just getting into the sport. I just can't say enough about that weekend, and I'm looking forward to getting out on the water. So if you guys want to understand more about Muskie Max and see more pictures and videos and all that stuff, go out and follow Muskie Max on Instagram, Facebook. You know, hit the social media pages. Like, stay up to speed on it and really set yourself up for an awesome show next year. I really appreciate all of the positive feedback I got at the show, all the messages you guys are flooding me with. Like, it's unreal. Like, I probably from the show to this point, I probably answered like 400 text messages just from guys that I talked to at the show. I mean, it's part of it, and it's just so much fun. Thank you guys for the support. I can't thank you guys and tell you how much I appreciate that for not only my YouTube, but the Hunks podcast as well. So thank you guys. Looking forward to getting out on the water. Boat's ready to go. We're going to pull her out and get her ready to go for next weekend. I'm hoping it's either going to be Dan and I or Deanna and I. We're going to be out there doing some trolling, trying to catch some fish, trying to get some slime in the boat for the very first time. So I wish you guys all a good, healthy, safe start to the fishing season. I know a lot of you guys are out there getting fish already, but hopefully everybody enjoys their time on the water this year. Hopefully you guys get tons of time on the water this year. Really looking forward to the 2023 fishing season. So, all right, Yins guys, that's all I have. Thanks for hanging in there with me for this hour plus. I appreciate you guys. I guess for now, all that's left to say is tight lines. We will see Yins next time.
Oh, wow. What is going on here?
What's going on here?
We got a Napot. We got a Napot of Juski.
Oh yeah.
How'd you enjoy the show, buddy?
A lot.
A lot. You feeling okay today?
Yeah. I guess. Glutton for punishment. I'm back.
What are we gonna do next year?
Do you want the real yet?
I want the real. I want to know what we're gonna do at the booth next year.
We're gonna set up a couch. It's gonna be called the Hunks Lounge. We're gonna have a coffee table, and you can sit down and tell us what you got in that bag.
What you got in that bag? What Yin's got in that bag?
I got a Leo. I got a couple grubs from Tom. That's what we got in that bag.
That's what we got in that bag. What did you say to me last night?
Thanks, Gary. Thanks for sharing your lures with us, Gary.
Hi, my name's Gary from Indiana. I got a glider, jerkbait, and a shallow invader.
Thanks, Gary. Thanks for sharing it.
Thanks, Gary.
Enjoy your trip back.
Looking forward to it, buddy. Musky Max.
Musky Max, here we go.
She's barely hanging on right now.
Oh.
We're ready to go. Let's go fishing.
Let's go fishing.
Go fish this year?
Let's do it.
Let's go fish. Let's go.
Let's go.